let's talk about vintage gear. Why are these things so damn expensive? Why is this old gear, vintage gear, so expensive? And why are some of you willing to pay such a premium for these products? Hey, you guys, welcome back to St. Luminous. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and also hit the notification bell so you can find out the next time I put out a video. We've been talking a lot about this in message forums, and I've noticed this on social media that people are talking about, and I even saw a Bloomberg article about this today, about how music products are going through the roof in terms of demand and for price, especially for the old products that aren't made anymore. So when I say that things are expensive, I'm not talking about the latest Strymon pedal or any brand new products, because apparently the pandemic has made a lot of people very musical, so they're wanting to buy all these new products. So I get it that you want to buy a new guitar and pick it up, and that is cool. So I'm not talking about that stuff. What I'm talking about is stuff that is no longer made. Why is it so damn expensive? Now, I had a friend of mine on Twitter, and he gave me a good reason for it. He says it's simple. It's supply and demand. And he's right. If you're talking strictly on economics, this is true. The supply is low because these products aren't made anymore. But the demand is also high. And that's what I want to get to. Why is the demand so high for products that are out of date, products whose technology is basically antiquated? It's out of date. So let's look at some of these products so you get an idea what I'm talking about. I'm going to start with the infamous Eventide H3000. And I really got started on this because Michael Nielsen and with Big Hairy Guitars, please follow him and find him here on YouTube. He's fantastic. He posted about trying to buy an H3000, and he was going to, and it got sold out from under him. It's just the price for such an old product. It just blew my mind. I'm going to look right now on Reverb.com. Let's talk about this. The Eventide H3000 sold listings, because right now I'm going to talk about sold, because when I look at the sold listings on Reverb, this is the actual price people have paid for it. The price is going to differ a little bit because there's different versions of the H3000 with some improvements along the way. $1,400, $2,250, $2,500, and I'm looking at US sold. $1,000 for an H3000 in poor condition. So even when it's in poor condition, geez, look at this one. In fair condition, $1,600. Here's one, $2,500, $23,000. Okay, the Eventide H3000. It's an old product, released in 1986. 35 years old. Of course, there were some updates along the way, so you'll find some units that are younger than 35. But you get the idea. 30 to 35-year-old product. Technologically speaking, it's very antiquated and out of date compared to today's technology. I want you to think about the technology of 1986. Man, we were still watching tube television. We were renting VHS tapes when this was released. And at that time, of course, this was very high tech. The H3000 was very high tech for that time. But compared to today's technology, it is super antiquated. The processors are much faster nowadays. The only thing I can say that is unique for the H3000, because I don't own one, people are saying they like it because of the analog to digital conversion and the digital analog conversion. It's got an old school crunchy sound to it that gives it character, and it's the type of character that can't be replicated in plugins. Fair enough. It does have some character, and the little bits I've heard, I do like the sound. I think it sounds great. But even Eventide, that's kind of funny actually. Even Eventide has released plugins of some of the algorithms in the H3000. So you can get things that are kind of in the ballpark in a plugin. It's not a question of whether you think the H3000 is any good or whether you would take one. If somebody wanted to give me one, I would take it. The question is it so unique and so full of character that you will pay $1,200 for one that's practically broken? pay $2,000, $2,500 for one. These things are old. The power supplies, if they haven't already been replaced, you're going to have to replace it fairly soon. The screen is probably ready to go. These things will need a lot of maintenance if they haven't already had maintenance. They're old. The sound is good. I got it. Is it worth $2,000? Let's look at the next one, the Lexicon PCM81. Again, I know it sounds amazing. I have a PCM81. I know it sounds amazing. And there are some things that it does that so far no plugin can do. Fair enough. So it is a little unique. And you might even say the same thing about the 3000. And it has some things in there that no plugin can do. Fair enough. But for most of you, you're probably never digging that deep in these units to find those little nooks and crannies. Why would you pay such a premium for it? The Lexicon PCM81 was released, say, about 97, maybe 96, 97. So it's a 25-year-old product. Think of the technology. We were still watching VHS tapes. This is probably right around when DVDs were starting to come into fashion. People were watching DVDs and DVD players. Think about that technology. That kind of stuff. Think about the first DVD players. What are they worth now? Close to zero, except for maybe nostalgia. Technology-wise, it's nobody bothers with the first DVD players. Pretty much everyone does streaming. It's long gone. So why are people paying these prices? Now, this is what I'm talking about. Right now on Reverb.com, $950, $1,000 for a 25-year-old digital product, the PCM81. Those are the offers, but let's look at the sold prices. So I'm going to look. $700 it sold. $775. Here's one for $825. $895 sold. Another $800, $849, $750, $1,000. Yeah, somebody paid $1,000 for it. I love my PCM81, but I would never pay $1,000 for the PCM81. So far, mine is working, but my little input knob, I'm going to have to go in there and get some WD-40 and spray and kind of work with the little input dial because it does a lot of cracking. Right now, I'm going digital with it, so I don't have to mess with it, but it needs a little bit of maintenance. The screen on it is good, but I don't know how much longer the screen is going to last. It's going to use maintenance. I don't expect to get another 20 years out of this perfectly fine without having to do some work on it. Not going to happen. Why would you pay $800 or $1,000 for a 25-year-old product? Think of all the plugins you can buy for really cheap. Think of the latest products, even a Strymon Reverb or a Empress Reverb. I know it won't sound exactly the same, but for what we're doing as musicians, why would you pay such a huge premium for these old products? Let's look at another one. This is my Yamaha QY100 sequencer. I got this about 2003, 2004. I don't know how much I paid for it. It was so long ago. I think I even got it off of eBay. It's old. The sounds in it are really cheesy. They're great if you just want to practice jamming at home. You could put together a little backing track. But let's be honest. Nowadays, with a laptop and fairly cheap software, because Reaper, in a certain sense, is free, but you should still pay for it, you cheap bastards. Some virtual instruments that you don't have to pay much for. You can get backing tracks that would absolutely kill this, slay this thing, because the sounds in this are so cheesy. You can get backing tracks that sound like you're playing with a real band. This thing right here on Reverb, as low as $125 up to almost $300 for one of these. Why? This product is practically 20 years old, and it sounds like a 20-year-old digital product. That's how cheesy the sounds are. There's even a few little bugs in here, so it's got some things that are quirky, but it isn't pleasant sounding. I would not produce a professional recording with this without taking the sounds and getting in there and tweaking it and mangling the sound. You can probably get something there, but you really got to dig in. Look at this interface. There's no numbers to type in. You got to use these. It's very cumbersome to change volume, to change a filter, to go to certain places. This thing is extremely cumbersome to use, especially after you've recorded data, you want to go and edit it. Wow, it is very cumbersome compared to what we have nowadays. So why would somebody pay that much? And somebody might say, well, it's because, it's portable. You can operate on batteries. True enough. 6 AAA batteries? And it eats them up like that. That's crazy. So again, we're left. Why would you pay these premium prices for these products that, technologically speaking, are so out of date and antiquated, they should be worth zero or close to zero? Last one, the Yamaha TX81Z. For guitar players that don't know, the Yamaha TX81Z is a rack mount synthesizer, specifically an FM synthesizer. Amazing sounds. Every single one of you out there, if you've listened to music from the 80s, early 90s, you've heard the sounds of the TX81Z. So at that time, it was truly a unique product. I get it. And it was released in 1987. So I want you to think about this. Also, almost 35 years old, like that H3000. It's an FM synthesizer. Again, very cumbersome in the interface because it's just one rack mount. So you got a small screen and cumbersome to go through and adjust. And FM synthesis is actually also very cumbersome, at least to me, compared to subtractive synthesis. So why are people paying these premium prices? Remember, it's a 35-year-old digital product. Let's look at what some people actually paid for it. $270. $175, $295, $200, $150, $250, so $135. Oh, there's one. So these people are paying $135 on up to almost $300. Oh, in fact, there is one right here. $300 for an excellent condition Yamaha TX81Z. I would love to have a Yamaha TX81Z, but it's not worth $300. I'm not even sure something that old is worth $100. $50, I'll take it. It is an old technology. It is old. It is cumbersome. It really is. Because you're going to have to take that MIDI keyboard, go into the back with the MIDI cables, and then still get the audio out into it. You know, you can get the Dext plugin for free. That will give you FM synthesis, and the interface is much better. You can tweak. It's much easier to tweak than this old antiquated Yamaha TX81Z. So again, it's not why are people buying, let's say, this Yamaha TX81. It's not a reason. I don't want to know why you would buy it, because it does have some excellent sounds. But why would you pay that premium for it? Why would you pay $200, $300, even $100 for it? Why would you pay for something so antiquated, so cumbersome, and something that you're going to have to do some maintenance on to make sure it keeps working? A 35-year-old product, it's going to need some work. That power supply is going to die fairly soon if it hasn't already been replaced. The screen you're going to have to replace if it hasn't been replaced. You're going to have to open it up, replace the little battery in there. Sure, it's not that big of a deal, but some of you, I bet, didn't even know that these products have a battery. Yeah, that's how it saves these things. It saves all your presets. It's got to have a battery in there. And that battery, you got to change out every so often because the battery dies. And if you don't change out the battery, guess what? All those lovely presets you mean, gone. So, my friends, it's much more than just economic. I got it. The supply is low, so there's not a lot of these products out there. And a lot of people want it because it sounds cool. So I got it. The price will go up. But these prices here, it's insane, the prices that people are paying for these things. So I don't know. My question isn't so much, why do you want to buy these things? I know, because they sound cool and there's some unique things. But why would you pay that price? When practically speaking, there's things that are much more up to date that will get updates fairly soon to give you even more sounds and even more things you can do with it. Why are you paying these extraordinary prices? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you. If you're paying $1,000 for a PCM 81, if you're willing to pay $2,500 for an Ace 3000, I want to know why you pay these extraordinary prices. I would love to know, why is this vintage gear so expensive, and why are people actually paying these prices? And as a reminder, please subscribe to this channel. Love to have you along for this ride. Hit the notification bell so you'll find out the next time I put out a video. This is Saint Luminous. Thank you for watching today.